Okay, now I'm going to make your brain hurt just a little bit. Not all the time are we just looking at individual shapes. Sometimes we're going to go ahead and do composite shapes, composite figures. So on this one, I've got a rectangular prism and I've got a cube. They're stacked on top of each other. I want to find the surface area. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to pretend like what we're wrapping this thing in is made out of gold. You just can't waste it. You're not going to do any additional wrapping than what you absolutely have to do. So when I'm thinking about this bottom part of the cube, this part here, that's touching the rectangular prism. So I'm not going to put any wrap on that, right? The other place that I'm going to skip wrapping is right here. This portion of this rectangular prism, right there where they're touching, that also doesn't get counted in surface area. So you've got to think about where are the sides touching and take that part out. Again, imagine in your head this stuff is made out of gold foil. You are not going to waste gold foil covering up things that are being used to glue the two shapes together. So here's an example for you. Hang on to your hat. Pretty exciting. I've got a rectangular prism, and then on top of it, I've got a triangular prism. So I've got really two pieces I've got to figure out. So I'm going to start with the rectangular prism, and I'm going to look at and I'm going to label everything that I'm doing just to kind of keep track of all of these different sides and all of the work I need to do. So first of all, I've got the front side, that's this side, and then the back side here of the rectangular prism. So that's 8 by 4.8. And I picked up this number by looking here. They gave me this outside edge. So I know this is 4.8. So I know this is 4.8 as well. So this rectangle is a 4 by 8 times 8. And there's two of them, the one in front and then the one that's in the very back of the prism. So I did 8 times 4.8, and then I doubled that to get 76.8. Now I'm going to look at my two sides. I've got this end side here and this end side here. So that's a 2.8 times a 4.8 to get this rectangle on the end. And I did times 2 because I've got this one on this side as well, giving me 26.88. Now I've got the bottom, this part here. That's an 8 by 2.8. I'm not going to double it because the top part here is being covered by the bottom of the triangular prism. So I'm just going to do the bottom, get 22.4. And if I add those three together, I get 126.8 yards squared. Now the triangular prism. Yes, lots of steps. So I have to think about my triangles that are forming this prism. I've got this one here, and then I've got the one that's in back as well. The height they gave me, and again, I'm thinking about I'm walking up that triangle, I'm dropping that plumb line down, and I know that the height is 3. The bottom of the triangle, I'm going to pick up from here. I know this is 8 yards, so this too has to be 8 yards. So then I'm looking at 3 times 8. I would normally cut that in half because that's how we do a triangle area for a triangle, but I know I need 2 triangles, so I am going to just multiply the 3 times 8 and get 24. Now I've got the side rectangles, this one here, and then there's another one back there that's kind of hidden. But I know because this is an isosceles triangle that this one and the one on this other side that's hidden have to be the same size. I'm looking at the side. I know that this is 5. I need this piece here. So I'm going to slide down to here. If that's 2.8, this too has to be 2.8. So 5 times 2.8. And then I'm going to go ahead and double that as well. I'm going to do some mental math in my head. 2 times 5 is 10. Now times 2.8, 28. No calculator needed. So I'm going to do my 24 and my 28 together and get 52 yards squared. To find the total surface area, 126.8 plus the 52, 178.08 yards squared. Lots of work, lots of little steps, lots of places to make errors. So double check your work as you're going through these.